All right. Good evening, everybody. It's 10 p.m. Central Time on a Wednesday here online. Welcome. Another episode. I, of course, hi, everybody. I, of course, am your host and the audio host. We're episode 21, 2-1 on our radio right here on YouTube and the platforms. And basically, we are going to get it where I can, stream it in multiple places. We're not there today. We're today. So if you're live and you want to check out and want to go here, please send me a comment in the chat. That's going to be fine. And if you're here later on the replay, tonight's episode is not sponsored by Zero, but I will have it because I'm fasting. I can get that by this. Zero calories. Again, welcome to Outlaw Radio. This is episode 21. We are going to talk about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite right here in Winnipeg. I know there's still recording collision and other stuff that's all night, so I'm not going to have all the spoilers and everything like that yet. I don't know what happened because we're doing it. But I've got some guesses. What's going on? So that's always cool. I think it's notes. Actually, take notes, which is dope. I could talk over that. I do want to say I don't normally do Dynamite reviews. I don't normally do Dynamite reviews, but I have I decided to do so for today for a couple of reasons we'll get into in just a minute. As soon as I get through, actually, what the intro of the show is. In case you don't know, again, I'm the Outlaw. I've been a professional wrestler since 1995, based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I've had the pleasure of the last 3 decades of performing all across Central Canada, from British Columbia, all the way to Ontario. I've been through the tri-state area in the Midwest. I've had a chance to wrestle in Michigan. I've had a wrestle down in Vegas. I've had a chance to wrestle in other places. And I've had a couple of cups of coffee in Japan where I wrestled for Smash. And I got to the Ultimate Dojo for a hot minute. That was a long story. We won't talk about today. What we're also going to talk about is the fact that I've had the pleasure of being backstage and working as an extra for WWE and, of course, AEW. So that's the impetus for us talking about that today. But in order to support the work that I do here, and in order to show you support for myself on our radio, I would really appreciate it if you check some of the links down below. Specifically, if you'd be so kind, as of course, go to Frost and Tees, go to the Great West North shop, where you can buy this design of Outlaw merchandise. Of course, I am Canadian made. I'm the Outlaw Knights, established in 1995. And that is a good old time, I'll tell you right there. You can have the shirts exclusively there. I've got a couple of other different designs. So if you're somebody who already watches All Elite Wrestling and you are used to going to WWE Shop or AEWshop.com, then you're ready to get them here as well. So good. If you're more into literary stuff and you're not just into wrestling, I do ask that you take a look at my books. I've got a series of books available on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon worldwide. If you have Kindle, if you like actually having a nice paperback copy in your hands, or if you want to actually get a hardcover, let me know. I am, of course, in the process also of figuring out getting the audio versions of those done. By that I mean I have a microphone. I've got to get a more soundproof, and once I've got that figured out, I will be doing myself. So, welcome to the show. Thank you again for being here. It means a lot to have everybody here, whether you're live over here or live out there. That's always a good thing. Oh my goodness, good to see you. Sorry. Welcome. So let's talk All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. Full disclosure, I feel a real affinity to AEW, and I have from the very beginning. And just because they are one of the best wrestlers that I get to say. And not just because they're here in the hometown, but obviously because since I'm from here and so many people that are important to the AEW that I have a real personal connection to. And of course, I'm talking about Chris Jericho. Now, I don't have as much of a personal connection with Jericho as the other two, but obviously, it's hard not to want to root for them and to see them succeed. As such, I was very fortunate when the first time they made their debut in Winnipeg back in 2023 that I got to work backstage. I got to be a part of the event. I got to be on AEW Dark. I got to wrestle Jay Hager. Very nice 90-second bout, which was very humbling for me as the best goddamn heavyweight in Canada. Former world heavyweight champion. I'm not ashamed of it, damn it. It was a good idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I have a real affinity for AEW. I realize, God damn, it's blowing me out here. I have a real affinity for them and what they do, and I really enjoy the product they put out. I like that they try to really focus on the in-ring opportunities, and that's not at the expense of storylines. So, again, a lot of love. A lot of love. So, anytime they get a chance to be working out of the Kendall Life Center in Winnipeg, it's a big deal to me. And it's a big deal to me to see them, coming home. It always feels like they're coming home. So, let's talk about the show. The show started right at 7 o'clock. And by now, if you follow wrestling at all, what I'm going to say is not a shock to you in the way shape. But it clearly was meant to be a shot across the bow for the entire wrestling industry. Where after almost a year of absence, after random speculation that he was going to make his debut, his re-debut at WrestleMania, show up with a Raw after WrestleMania, the Jericho came home. Showed up like Judas, the Winnipeg crowd went crazy for him. Hit Irvine's little boy, came on down that ramp. Long hair, and his jacket and no shirt look, which he also didn't pull off. He had very little to say. So now, obviously, there's going to be a whole bunch of people in the comments and in the internet wrestling community who are going to say, they hate this move. They don't want Jericho here. He's washed up anyway. Nobody wants anything to do with his 55-year-old man. Why is this guy still showing up at this event? And I have to tell you, all of you guys are idiots. Every single one of you was begging for him to show up in the box. Every one of you dying for him to be involved in past year WrestleMania. You've all been chomping at a bit waiting for him to make. Now, whatever his reasons are, stick with all of them. The fact that now you're salty about it, you're going to get back up. You should be able to look at that thing. As a founding member of the company, as the cornerstone of the legend, we don't have AEW Dynamite or Switch or All In or any of those things. Yeah, yes, obviously, the Bucks, Omega, Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, all of them. Without them, we don't have TV. We don't get TV without Chris. So, I don't know how long this run is going to be from this point in his career. Speaking as another guy who got more miles behind him than he got ahead of him. I don't know what his efforts are, where he needs to go, but whether it's for 6 months or a year or even 2 years, whatever he's got left, whatever he wants to do, I say they should be darn glad to have him. Have a guy with that much tenure, that much experience, that much names on show up on other shows, give the boost for the host. I think it's a good thing. And of course, a great thing when he's here at home. He's here at Winnipeg. Give that extra boost to him. So obviously, that's the biggest news to come out of obviously other stuff's happened. But it's hard not to look at that and go, that's kind of the big deal that's happening. Jericho returning to AEW, it's a big deal. You can't be seen as anything else. Really can't be seen as anything else. But other things happen. Let's get into the next. I adore the fact that we're getting MJF as a heavyweight champion against Omega next. They really started the show off with a bang, and I really like how one segment rolled to the next, rolled to the next, rolled to the next. Sometimes you watch name any other television program names off the top of my head, whether it's Impact or NXT or Raw, sometimes when they do this, it feels like a slog. It feels like it's a never-ending stream of non sequiturs all tied together. It's over and over. With the benefit of it being a Winnipeg crowd, starting with Jericho, having making an announcement, and then leave, going right into what this set up in the first place, which is, of course, the contract signing between MJF and Omega for Dynasty. So you have one Winnipeg boy and an icon taking off, the second Winnipeg boy icon coming out, and continuing the angle with MJF that it does. Of course, the angle being that MJF doesn't love the match, or he wants to go to Omega into hitting him, and that way he gets the match thrown out. Now, I haven't really understood the whole Mike Bailey addition into this, but again, what they're trying to do with AEW more than anything else is really trying to build the next run of talent. Otherwise, you need more top guys. You just need more top guys. Bailey's a great talent. He can have a great match with anybody. And he deserves to be exposed to a little bit more of the level. But again, your first hour of Dynamite rolled right along in a very seamless fashion. Jericho's re-debut, right into contract signing, right into getting an announcement for what the main event was going to be, which is, a title eliminator between Bailey and MJF, and then rolling right into the six-man tag between Demand with Ricochet and Gates Vanity. Brody King, who we all love. And of course, Jack Dragon. He's just a banger. Call him if you want. Right, whether you want to call it a party match with PWG style, to me it looked more like, Mega having a fun little six-man that we used to have all the time for PCW whenever we came back to days. And it was just a fun match. A fun match. Everyone got a chance to shine. Everyone got a chance to go and get over. They had a real good time. Very much over there. They had a real good time. They were taking a crowd. Ricochet looked great. Maggie looked great. Brody King was great. Bill Jack was great. And at the end of the day, after 2 commercial breaks, the guy who's challenging for World Championship gets a clean cut. Wrestling's about putting smiles on faces. Supposed to, and I'm not going to lie. MJF's entrance at the beginning, where they had the two guys rolling out the Burberry carpet for him, that made me laugh. So much happened in this show. That six-man tag was great. Obviously, we noticed that Copeland and Christian are showing up. They intimidated poor Renee. They beat up the poor guys. And the poor guys are going to get it all the time. Get the locker room as they're trying to look for FTR. We're not going to get them tonight on Dynamite. But of course, it's a double taping. They want to keep the people in Winnipeg in their seats for the entire 2 hours. So letting the people know that they stick around, they're going to get to see Copeland and Cage have a big old segment later on in the show. That's good money. That's good business. I really like it. So then we get a match I never thought we'd ever get to see live in Winnipeg. Two of United Kingdom's best talents in the last 50 years. The smoothest high flyers were ever. They're different generations too. Actually made his own to the league after 50 years of Oscar. Obviously, didn't get as much of high UK movie style like you would see in the past, but they would have come a decade. And you should. He had fusion surgery in his neck. So I really like that they put a lot of emphasis, a lot of heat on that. Here's another match. At least one of the two for sure. And that's not to say that they didn't do anything really fluid or really smooth. One of the biggest criticisms most old timers have about it software products like these guys sell it up, they sell it do enough. They don't do enough to justify it's not the case in this match. With Pac being a bully the whole way through, constantly working on the ground, Also going back to that, we really put the food out the finish over, which it is. It's already over. I really try to focus on that. I love the fact that they had a beautiful match in every sense of the word. And still, when it's all said and done, they ended up on the roll up finish. Nice tight roll up finish. Babyface fighting from underneath, the bullying kills, beating him down the whole time. Obviously, also has to get through this match. He wants to face John. That's when the aftermath beatdown happens. I'm glad they did something that, it's optional. We're seeing a WWE show. Instead of just beating him up and beat him up and after again. But instead of doing the most dastardly thing you can do, which make it look like they're trying to re-break his neck, Moxley made it very clear. He wants the match with Ospreay. He wants Ospreay at his best. But he wanted him to know that it's not a personal thing for him. I love what Moxley did. I don't see why more people don't understand it. He's either a babyface or a heel. He's the Death Rider. He's the king of the Death Riders. He's the international champion. He's the continental champion. He's the guy who's going to run it. He's as much looking forward to the competition with Will Ospreay as anything else. But he wants him to come. Incredible match. Incredible segment. And here's where, the drones are going to come on and anybody that watches this, accuse me of blazing AEW. I want me to get figured out. Look at that. Because last stuff with the other like last stuff is back to that. Last stuff with AEW and back to that. It's just a lot of stuff that I just want to talk about stuff. Hard to be a hater. It's too addicted. Go check one of my previous series. Check one of my previous live streams if you want to hear my thoughts about negativity online and hatred and other stuff. That's cool. Very nice. Rude. Very nice. So let's move on. We're an hour and a bit into the show. We've only technically had two matches. Everything's felt seamless and physically good. I like that. So go right into the main two. Finisher Kawa, Alex Winter, and of course Jake Hader against Tribal Scott. These ladies are a tough hill to climb because obviously the biggest female star in the company is Toni Storm, and she's out. So Mina's filling in admirably in that place. Also, these ladies also following two very, very, very hard to follow segments. Big stuff. And I'm not saying these ladies aren't big stars. I'm not saying they're all. That was fantastic. She did a great job as a women's champion of this match. Everybody loves Mina. The UK ladies are great, but I don't think they've got some kind of name value. And of course, Blue, I just, let me be clear. My biggest thought at first when I started watching this match is that I really definitely don't. Anyways, getting back to the actual match, they gave them time. They gave them ladies full segment a bit, every commercial, and God bless them. Winnipeg is a wrestling. We are the wrestling capital of the world. We're the wrestling capital of the world. And watching these ladies get to put in more time, get to put in the opportunity to really, really, really build the finish. Fantastic. On the right team up. They put the baby faces over. They did a really good job. Gave a hater, hit the haterade, laid out. Was it Sky Blue? I think it was. They don't want to pin the chair. Well, that's interesting. Really good match. That's so much to be great. Really cool. The second screen then at the main event. Remember, Darby Allin is an angle hell. It's just the never-ending feud he's got, either with the War Dogs or trying to be the one guy competing for the world title. I'm not saying Darby Allin deserves a world title shot. He's one of their top homegrown stars. Just, he routinely spends his entire time in AEW getting absolutely demolished because that's what he likes to do. That's what he's excellent at. It is a tough thing. It is a tough thing. doing all right with him, and a good thing. So at the end of the day, they're building something that allows them to bring on Don Callis, who remains the only Winnipegger to be in front of a large Winnipeg crowd at the arena in Winnipeg. Still get Let me tell you right now, they wouldn't want it anyway. That's good. Main event signed earlier in the night. Speedball Mike Davis. Title eliminator match. MJF coming out there to be the greatest cocky American, complete with the custom American style being unfurled behind it with his own face and face style. The easiest feat in Canada you will never have. And of course, he does a great job. He does a great job. Mike Bailey's great. MJF's great. I love the fact that Friedman's MJF's he will liver matches, not just be the champion, not to be the guy who gets by just as cocky, which does a great job. But it's like the reviews. Trying to deliver every night. Just go out there and let's really give it a So yes, we got a very, very, very significant main event match. Omega at ringside, obviously still with the stipulation where he's not allowed to touch MJF, and that's fine. At the end of the day, got a great match. And again, the right person won. Every champion, beat the guy who's not mixing up title cleanly in the middle of it. My favorite thing about it, while there will be a screw finish every once in a while, something else, by and large, when it matters, the champion needs to go over, and the contenders need to go over. Oh, so overall, it was very fun time. Very fun time. The kind of fun time that I wish I'd gone to see it live. If I had, I'd still be there. It's so funny. I can't wait to see that. I don't get all the yeah, really excited to see something else. See what's happening. And yeah, it's really interesting. Again, being the way it is right now, where I'm, old man, still the best guy to ever in Canada. Like, with the record Canadian champ. April 24th in Winnipeg. April 2. I will be defending that title. Opponent to be determined. But when you watch the best wrestler for all of you, and you see the support you get from the hometown crowd, and you see the fans, young and old, in that audience, and you see the level of international talent that come here to perform in my home in front of a worldwide audience on international television. It's kind of a dope thing. And it's hard to explain why it gives me feelings here. Again, I don't get the same feelings like this for WWE anymore. But I really get to feel WWE. Well, obviously, I have no company, yes. Yes, but, it's not the same thing. I have no place to go. I'd love to have a job there. I'm sorry, there's a talent, but a job would be great. Um, it's, see the homegrown talents, supporting their homegrown talent, and learning and getting the chance to see these people from all around the world. It really, Winnipeg gets shit on a lot. Oftentimes by people within Winnipeg more than anybody else. So when you get to see a world class event like this, it's special. Makes me proud to be both Winnipegger and a pro wrestler. And that's perfect. So that's my recap. I don't want to call it a review, but I had to call it something here at the title. A recap of AEW Dynamite Winnipeg. What did you guys think? You got a chance to see it? Let me know in the comments. If you're here live, you're leaving a note, go right ahead. Let me know what you thought. If you're watching it later, which is probably very likely because most of it's probably actually after you're watching it. Live. There it is. Let me know. Leave a comment in the thread below and we can talk about it down the road. But for right now, I think I'm good. Reminder again, for anybody that's interested, you can get my t-shirts Get merch over at firstreviews.com. Pick up this designer and any of the others. They're on firstreviews.com/LYAK. You can get it there. Also, really great right North Productions. They've got t-shirts, merch, hats over there as well. The links are in my bio and they're underneath here. It is really good to see you, my man. Thank you for showing up. It's all good. All good, all good. Thanks for being here at all. I appreciate that. The comments for the video for this come to you as well. It really means a lot. So yes, you can pick up my shirts at firstreviews.com. Also, if you like, please check out my books. Go to Amazon.com if you're into urban fantasy and inspired by Jim Butcher and also God Lee Child. I really enjoy writing. It really brings a lot out of me. I'm working on this series right now. Hopefully it'll turn into a really and that's about it. I appreciate you all. Thank you everyone for being here tonight and always. It means so much that I have an audience at all. It means so much that people give a darn and people want to support